I'm Erica Kemp, Project Director for TxDOTCONNECT, and today we're going to demonstrate our new estimated cost page functionality. You'll find the estimated cost page in our left-hand navigation in the Funding and Estimates section. This page replaces the estimated cost grid on the project details page. The page will include a project cost summary, project cost details section, and sections for both utilities, summary, and inflation. Like every page in the project module, it has a project header to let you know what project you're on. The project cost summary and every section on this page will have a column for project information specific to the project you're looking at, and a total contract column, which will be the sum of the information for all controlling and subordinate projects related to this project. You'll be able to see this total contract value on all the controlling and subordinate projects. In the project cost summary section, we have a new term called letting estimate, and we'll define that down in the project details section. We have a sealed engineer's estimate and a letting low bid, which will be auto-populated in the system after letting. The construction estimate without joint bid is also a new term that we'll define in the details section. The authorized amount will come from the funding page for approved funding lines in the construction grid. And then the original contract value and original utilities contract value will also be auto-populated post-letting. Moving down to our project cost details section, you'll see there's 4 tabs across the top. The planning estimate, which we'll take a look at today and where all data entry will occur on the project. The sealed engineer's estimate, which will auto-populate once the engineer's estimate has been sealed on the project. And then our letting complete and actual cost tabs will not be active. We'll launch those at a future date. You'll see a comment section that allows you to enter comments on each of these lines so that others who want to look at the estimate can understand why the dollar values were entered as they are. And there will be certain columns that will have percentages in them. We're still adding some of that functionality to the system. The project section on this page will have editable fields surrounded here by light blue, and of course the total contract section that we spoke about earlier. This first section allows for the end user to estimate the project during the planning stages using estimated bid items. And these estimated bid items are based on the categories of work associated to bid items, where the roadway bid items will of course be the summation of any category of work that's not listed below. The end user can enter the information in here, and it might be based off of a cost per mile or off of a previous project. And of course, that information can be entered into your comment section. The sum of the bid items will be your base estimate. And we may not know exactly what all of those bid items are going to be when we start working on a project many years before that project heads to letting. So we have a new field here called Allowances. And this allowance field allows you to either estimate the entire project without breaking it down to bid items, or to add additional dollars beyond your estimated bid items that might account for bid items that you haven't thought of at this time. Over time, the allowance moves to 0. So when you have your sealed engineer's estimate, there won't be any allowance because all of your items will fit into one of these 4 categories for your bid item estimate. Now we have a new term, letting estimate, which is the sum of your base estimate, your estimated bid items, plus your allowance. And this is the value that's going to be used for bidding capacity, as well as advertising and letting going forward. Your projects have additional costs besides just what is let. So we've created a new section here that allows you to enter your safety contingency, which is a baseline of 2%, and change order contingency, incentives, disincentives, which is new, and other force account work, so that we can account for those force account items that are added to the engineer's estimate but are not included in the letting estimate above. These 4 fields will become your total contingency. And the sum of your total contingency and your letting estimate will equal your construction estimate. This construction estimate is what will now populate in your project header. We need to use the construction estimate to help us identify the amount of funding needed to be programmed in our Unified Transportation Program. However, the joint bid items are not paid for through the Unified Transportation Program. So this line here, the construction estimate without joint bid items, will become the basis of your Unified Transportation Program funding. And in certain cases, inflation will also be taken into account. To capture additional costs to your project, we've set up a section for design costs, utility engineering and coordination costs, environmental costs, and other professional services. These will total to your professional engineering costs. Construction engineering can also be entered manually, and indirect costs will be calculated based off of the percentage provided by finance. When you add your construction estimate, preliminary engineering costs, construction engineering costs, and indirect costs, this will equal your project estimate. We're also taking into account your parcel acquisition costs and utility relocations that are not part of joint bid, and these will become your right-of-way costs that will be added in to give you a first look at a total project estimate. For more information on our new estimated cost page, join us for the upcoming training.